The first tune John Smith ever played on a fiddle was Old Dan Tucker. He was only 6 years old at the time.
Dad came back from Mitchell and he'd bought a fiddle down there, and he showed me how to play it. I was too little to go help feed that evening. He got in about 4 o'clock and there was snow on the ground. I remember that. And him and my older brother, they went to the barn to feed, and he was gone about an hour after showing me how to play Old Dan Tucker, and when he came back, I could play it.
John Smith is 76 years old now, a man who is to fiddles much like rain is to crops. He can do just about anything with them, play them, make them, fix them, and love them with the best.
When did you start your professional career?
Well, when I was 10 years old, I played from first dance.
A square dance?
The square dance.
Tell us the background of that.
Well, a fella come and got me in, and I had to ask my mother if I could go, and she said yes, I could. I went with him and played all night, and one dance after breakfast. They danced all night. It made me up $9.10.
And you played all night at 10 years old?
Yeah. Well, I played 3 guitar pickers until the blood was running out of their fingers. We had a dance that night, I mean to tell you. I could have played down a dozen guitar pickers. By the way, I made this fiddle.
You made it?
Yeah.
How do you start making a fiddle?
Well, I start with going in the woods and picking out a tree. And if you're ever going to mount to a darn for making a fiddle, you'll choose your wood in the tree, not at the sawmill. Now that's the first requisite.
Why?
Making the fiddle. Choosing your lumber growing on the stump. Now that's got to be you've got to do it, because you've got to know when that tree was cut. That tree's got to be cut the first 10 days of December, around the 40th parallel.
Why?
To get it dry, get that tree dry. It'll saw easier, it'll work easier, and it can be planed better. It'll take on a better finish, and it will sound 1,000 times better after it's done.
Are all the good fiddles being manufactured today made that way?
I doubt if any of them are. That's the big stumbling block right there, and it's so simple a 2-year-old child ought to know better than to make a fiddle that's full of sap, because sap contains iron ore and aluminum ore and sugar and stuff that'll get hard as iron and turn that piece of wood into a piece of mineral in a few years, and that fiddle never will be worth anything. It'll get worse every day of its life and more worthless. I went to school 4 years, and took wood carving. I studied every violin book that I could get, and when I started to repair violins, why, I thought I knew more about it than anybody in the world. That is 1920. And you know something? That's the biggest handicap anybody could ever start with in this world. My father was a smart man. He used to say, the more I know, the less I know.
When a man brings some work in for John Smith, he gets Southern Indiana hospitality too, and maybe some free entertainment. He may even join in.
Come on, your old gray bonnet with the wool ribbon on it while I hit old Dobbin to the shade, and to the fields of clover on our bound to Clover on our golden wedding day.
Sy Jenkins, News 4, Indiana.